Hello, my most amazing artist. Today we're going to be working on our Indian harvest corn, and we are going to be cutting it out, adding our husk that goes on the top, and when you finish today, it will look something like this. So I'm actually going to give you a smaller piece of construction paper. You guys will get to choose between red, orange, yellow, or purple. Those colors look really good with the colors that we painted. See that? Oh, it coordinates so good. Looks very good together. So let me show you what we're going to do today. Okay, so today you are going to need your project from last week. You are going to need a piece of construction paper. You choose the color. You can choose between red, orange, yellow, or purple. You will need a pair of scissors. These are adult scissors. You probably will have a pair of children's scissors. You will need a black Sharpie. This right here is some glue and a paintbrush. The first thing you are going to do is outline your corn. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm actually going to kind of outline the shape of my corn kernels. So I'm forgetting about this outline that I drew last week. I'm just going to kind of outline the shape of my corn kernels. Now, if this is too hard for you, which it may be, you can just cut out the shape of your corn cob, the shape that you drew at the beginning of class last week. That is fine. You don't have to worry about outlining the edge. If you feel like that might be too hard, just cut out the shape that you drew last week. Okay, now that I have that drawn, I'm going to cut out the outline. So I'm just going to be real careful. I'm also not going to cut a whole bunch of different cuts in here. I'm going to try to keep it all one cut. So it means I'm not going to cut the outline of my paper or the background of my paper right here. I want to keep this all one piece if I can help it. Okay, so I'm going to turn my corn. We are going to be using this background piece for the corn husks. So that's why we want to keep it all one piece. We are going to tear it apart in a minute and show you that. So I'm going to finish cutting and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the husk. Okay, so now this is what I have. I have a nice shape. See, it's not just a boring old triangle. It's a nice shape for my corn, just like that. And then I have the extra paper that I painted. If yours is not painted, that's fine. That's why I decided to do this. What we're going to do is we are going to tear and crumple. It'll look better if we tear it. So if you look at this one, you see I've got lots of fun little husks coming up, and it's painted different colors. And it's torn and it's crumpled up. You can see that. So, take your paper and you're just going to tear it into some strips. And you don't want your strips to be too short, so those are probably as short as I want. You may actually have more strips than you need to use. So I'm just tearing them into some kind of skinny strips. Not too short, not too long. And I have them on my paper, or I have them at my seat, just like this. Okay, got those off to the side. I'm going to glue my corn at the bottom of my construction paper, leaving room at the top up here, so that I can have room for the husk. So I need room up here. So this brings me to the gluing part. So flip over your corn. You're going to take your paintbrush, and you want your paintbrush to be kind of like a ballerina. So your paintbrush is going to dance in the glue, twirl around, and then look, we don't want our ballerina dripping glue everywhere, so we're going to wipe off a little bit of glue. Now see, look, my brush is not dripping. And we're just going to dance on the back of our corn shape. Now, you'll probably have to twirl in the glue wipe off the excess, and then dance. See, I'm making squiggly lines all along the edge of my paper. That way it'll stick. If I only do it in the middle, it's not going to stick around the edges. Okay, I'm going to lay my paintbrush in the cap, take my corn, and flip it over right there in the middle, and then press down onto my construction paper. Okay, now if the top is coming up a little bit, that's okay, because we're actually going to take these and stick them underneath. Now these can be, if you don't want to crumple your husk, you can just put them in there like this, but I think it looks really cool when they're crumpled up. Okay, if you want to crumple though, you're just going to take these in your hand, crumple them up really good, just wad them up. Okay, this is fun because you don't normally get to just wad up paper, but this is going to make our husk have texture, because if you see an old dried out piece of corn, the husks are not just flat, they have texture. So I'm just crumpling them up, just crumple them up. I use 7 in my other one, so I'm going to crumple up 7, and then I will show you what I do when I'm done. Okay, so now as you can see, my crumpled up strips, I have straightened them back out a little bit. I still want them kind of crumpled. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 4 along the back. And I'm going to glue those on. And then where there's spaces between, I'm going to glue the other 3. You might not have room for 7, but that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to glue them down. So I'm going to take my paintbrush again, wipe off the excess, and on the bottom of the back of that, I'm going to put a good old glob of glue, and I'm just going to stick it in there. And we want this to stick up so that it has some texture. So same thing, the bottom, I'm going to put a big old good glob of glue. You need a good glob of glue or else it won't stay. If a little bit of glue comes out, that's fine. Same thing, glob of glue. There we go, pop it down. Last one, for this layer, I'm doing 2 layers. Glob of glue. And again, it's okay if it sticks up because we want it to have that effect. Okay, now I'm going to do the next layer. So a good glob of glue. Y'all can see how quickly I'm doing this. This should not take a real long time. You have to pay attention to what you're doing, but it should not take a super long time. Glob of glue right here between these 2. And then my last glob of glue right here in the middle. And there you have it. I've got my corn. I think it looks pretty good. Now the longer your strips, the better I think it's going to look. My strips probably could have been a little bit longer. So be sure when you tear your strips, you tear them pretty long, not too short. But there's my project. I'm going to put my name down here at the bottom, and I'm finished. It needs to go on the drying rack because we have glue. So put it on the drying rack. If you want to add the black in between your corn kernels, you will take your Sharpie and just circle them. You can see I've done most of them up here. Just circle them so you're outlining your circles. Some of you painted your circles really close together, so you won't need to add black on yours. But some of you who have brown showing through can do this and it will look really good. So just circle each dot, and when you're done with that, you're just going to color in the spaces that are left over. So you're going to color in the brown spaces black. And that will be it. Okay, enjoy.